Hello and welcome to episode 10. Uh,
Yay.
You're listening to HCG game, or HCG. Listen to
Or
myself.
HC Gaming, or whatever we
HC,
call it.
yep. Well, HCG abbreviated.
Yeah.
I think if we do this a little bit different today, obviously I'll go through a couple of things that I want to mention, and then if Mike, I'll just pass it over to you, and you can go through a couple of the points you've made out at the start, like before we
Yeah,
started.
that's fine.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it worth mentioning, sorry for missing a week?
Um, Yeah, nobody cares. It's fine.
Well, I've just said it, haven't I? I've just done it. My
Yeah,
fault, my bad.
yeah.
We're back. We're back.
A week down, but yeah. Um, I don't know. I forgot what games I've played this. Well, I suppose we've got 2 weeks worth, haven't we?
You would think in 2 weeks we would have more though. I don't feel like I have more.
I have. You don't.
Okay, fair enough.
um, right. I'll just kick it off, and I'll kick it off with the football game you mentioned, if you want.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
Um, we've
Wait, you talking about games you played? Or are you talking about
no. We're just going straight into like kind of a bit of news, bit of stuff
Okay,
that we've.
cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
So one of the
Yeah.
games that we've picked up on, and I think it's quite interesting to myself and a lot of our close friends, is a game called UFL Football. Or it might just be UFL, I think. I'm not too sure. Anyway, it's a football game made by a company called Strikers Inc. And it's basically looking like it's going to take a dig at, or take a little bit of a swipe at FIFA and Pro Evo and try and kind of compete in that market. Um, this is made on the Unreal Engine, which I cannot. I don't know about you, Mike. I don't know. I can't imagine a game being made on it. I don't think there is any football games, is there, or anything similar?
What made on the Unreal Engine?
Yeah, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
I don't know if the other I don't think the other ones are.
No, I'm not too sure. Anyway, it's been 5 years in the making. It's totally free to play, and they've come out and they've said that it's going to be zero pay to win. I think with them saying that, I think there is going to be options to possibly purchase some items or some things. It sounds like it just may be totally cosmetic.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Um, and basically, the company Strikers Inc., who have been developing this game, they are, or they claim to be, true football fans. So it's people who've probably played the likes of FIFA and Pro Evo and just want to basically make a game that's, I suppose we see as broken.
Yeah.
Um, at the minute, there's currently 5,000 licensed players when it comes out. Actual players and clubs have yet to be released, so we don't actually know what those are, so we can't actually comment on those at the minute. And they're claiming that there will be constant updates, so it'll be kept up to date with latest transfers. Um, whether they're going to sit on loans and stuff like that, I don't quite know, but it seems promising for a game. I suppose we used to love our FIFA, and over the years it's slowly pissed us off.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'm curious, like you say, about the fact that it's going to be running the new Unreal Engine. Apparently, I just had a quick check, but apparently, so no, the main ones at the minute, FIFA and PES, don't run off Unreal,
Right.
and it's due to royalties, basically. Um, yeah, they'd end up paying like 100 million
What
in
what's
royalty fees.
what's that for? If the
So if you make a game,
yeah,
if you make a game on any engine platform, like Unity or Unreal or whatever, then they have different royalty fees you've got to pay
right,
because the
okay,
program's free. So anyone can download Unity, anyone can download Unreal 5. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But if you make a game and publish the game,
yeah,
you have to pay the makers of Unreal Engine or Unity a fee, and
Right.
the
Okay.
fee is based on how much money you make from that game.
Right.
So I think something like I think Unreal Engine or something like that is like if you I could probably check it, but basically the kind of gist of it was like if you I think Unreal have a different set. So the Unreal's thing is you don't pay any money if your game doesn't make any profit above 5 million.
Right. Okay.
Right? Unreal brought that out, I think, pretty recently. Um, so for like low, people just developing and making games, putting games out there and stuff like that, it's basically completely free, and the royalties you'll keep a lot of it. Um, if you go above that point, then you pay like 5%.
Right.
And I believe that it might not be 5 million. That might be a bit much, but I think Unity is only like 100 grand or something,
Right. Okay.
and then you've got to pay a fee. So from what I'm reading here, EA Sports make 5 billion a year from FIFA. So even if
That clubs, isn't it? That bloody,
yeah,
yeah.
gross revenue. So if we just said that, what's this? So net revenue, that's gross revenue. So net revenue, they're saying is about 60%, 66% of gross. So $3.3 billion, and they'll probably get a good reduction from EA, from Epic, who do the um, Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Um, so they might not get the 5% deduction. They might get a 3% charge instead. But that's still like 100 million they'd have to pay out just for the privilege of building it in their engine. So
What that tells me is we need to build an engine.
yeah, we ain't doing that. You'd be better off making a game, to be fair. I'd still you gotta look at it like from their perspective. I get it. Okay, they're paying £100 million to use that engine. From someone like us, if I make a game and we made £1 million and they wanted 5% of the profit, but I didn't have to pay for the machine that runs it all,
Yeah.
then fair enough. Um, I think it's the right way around. I think the engines do it the right way around because it means that people like me and you you can download Unreal 5 now. It's completely free to download, and you can go into games development. There's loads of like stuff you can follow on YouTube and videos, and you can do all kinds of stuff, and it's great. You can make your own games. If you don't publish them, you just keep them for yourself. Then good stuff. You won't get charged anything.
Bit
But
crap though, isn't it? You have to publish it though, don't you?
I think if you do it for you, I think this is an interesting thing with games that are free to play
Right.
because there's some I need to check up on it again because I don't know the full ins and out. But I've seen some stuff like if you publish a game and it's free to play, then people aren't paying for the game, so therefore you maybe don't pay the fees.
Right. Okay.
But maybe you do if it's revenue based, so you pay fees on what people buy off of your within the game still.
Fair enough. Right.
But anyway, that seems to be the main reason anyway.
Yeah. Um. I mean, like I say, we've played FIFA, we've played Pro Evo. I think it's not a bad thing to have another fresh look at something different, is it really?
No, I hope they do
Hope,
well because
hope,
they're doing it very differently though, isn't it? Isn't it like when you start, you basically make your own team.
I think so. I don't know. I didn't know whether it was a game mode or whether it was just you were actually trying to
I think it's like I
coerce.
think it's just a league. You get put into a league
Yeah, I think you kind of
like everyone else.
you're almost like player manager, aren't you? In a way. So you're kind of playing. I think you're
Maybe
playing the game and you're kind of trying to manage your team and manage it and buy players in, coerce players in,
yeah.
things like that. But then
There's
that's
like
where they're trying to say
5,000 licensed players and stuff.
there's no pay to win in this. So it's
But but if my opinion is if you're planning on going on a game like that and playing Man United or playing a football team, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, so that's about 90% of FIFA players who pick Real Madrid and
Well, if you you can't play,
well, it'll be
you
Man
might not
U
be able
this
to
year,
pick
won't
any
it?
team.
Because it's Ronaldo's
You might
there
not
now.
be able to pick any team though if it works like that. So
Yeah, well, Ronaldo's in Manchester United now, isn't he? So that's he'll
yeah,
be scuppered. Anyway, moving on. The other little piece of news, which I think will interest you, Mike. I don't know if you know about this. Fallout 76.
Oh yeah.
They've got an update coming up. Have you heard about this one?
No.
So it's
Kind of fell out with Fallout 76 when it came out.
I did, but I think this might even might even tempt you back in a little bit.
We'll
Right,
see.
this is not an update to the actual current kind of gameplay. So what they're now offering is they're coming up with these 5 custom new worlds. So the world of Appalachia as you knew it. Basically, what they're going to do is going to kind of go right. You can set up this custom game. Basically, I'll run through them anyway. So there's 5 new worlds you can set up. The first one's called Happy Builder. And what that allows you to do is, do you know when you're building up your camp?
Yeah.
And you were restricted to certain areas, how far you could build your buildings and this, that, and the other. Now what they're doing is they're kind of saying, right, do you know what? We're going to reduce any placement restrictions on your camp and your buildings, so you can build them where you want, how you want. They're disabling PvP, and it unlocks the full map just instantly at the start of it. So you can go into the game and you can basically use it as I suppose the name is Happy Builder. You can just use it as kind of a building tool. So if you picture Minecraft, when you unlock all the items and you can so just a creative mode. So I mean I think that's a pretty good little thing because you can kind of see what you can build, what you can aim towards when you're actually playing the survival.
And no.
Pardon?
Yes and no.
And it just gives you that opportunity to kind of go right. If I do this, but without spending any points, without having to worry about.
Yeah, but you said your limitations have been removed.
Yes.
Of what you can build and how big you can build.
Yes.
So you could build something in that mode that you can't possibly build in survival.
Not necessarily, because you possibly still can't. It's not. It's restrictions on. I can see what you're saying.
Your build size? Is it restrictions on your build size?
I don't actually know. All the claim to say is it's reduced placement restrictions on camps and building. So I don't quite know. It sounds what they've not actually stated in the when they've said it was they've not said that obviously cost or anything like that, because I can't quite remember in Fallout 76. It costs you per item, doesn't it? You're building, and you have do you not have like a certain amount you can build in an area?
No, you had to. It was both. You had a build limit was one, and then you had which is how much you can build. You had a limit. Well, you kind of 3 actually. You had a limit of area.
Yeah.
As well. You can only build in a certain ring, and it was like resources as well.
Yeah, and it was amount as well, wasn't it? So you could only build so much, and then it would be like, nope, you can't build anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, build limit. It was like a bar. It's like a structure complexity limit or whatever. And depending on what you put down on it, depending on your structure limit.
And was there not unlocks as well? So you didn't have everything unlocked?
You could, because you could spend points.
Yeah, so I
on
think
yourself, like perks and cards and stuff, and that would unlock it.
So I think it's kind of giving you all those unlocks as well. So what I'm getting at is it's giving you that ability to go right. Okay, what can I build?
So it's So basically, creative mode.
Yeah, I like that. Let's now go into survival mode and try and aim to unlock that as well. Yes, I can see what you're saying about the restrictions of like size and stuff. You're not going to get beyond that. I know. I can see what you're saying about that.
I understand creative mode, and I think creative mode is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
However, the building mechanics and the stuff that's in survival is awful. So they're not going to fix it by letting you be able to do it in creative mode.
No,
like from a building perspective,
it's just a new way of playing it. Basically, it's giving you. There's more anyway. Creative mode. I'll move on to the next one. The next one's called high risk. So this basically the disable fast travel, so you can't ping around the map.
Okay.
PvP is always on.
Okay.
When you kill a player, they will drop more loot than normal. So you're
Okay.
gathering more resources and stuff off them. And the workbench crafting is free. So basically, it's kind of going, right, let's
Build what you
build
want, do what you
build
want,
some
and
big weapons and whatnot and just go crazy.
it's PvP madness.
Yeah,
Or
basically.
like hardcore PvP or something. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
The next one is called Dwellers Must Die.
Mm-hmm.
And that is basically the enemy difficulty has gone right up through the roof. But then
Right.
you have the weird one about this is, so as I read it, it says the enemy difficulty has gone up, but you have increased weapon damage and durability. There's also some like fog thing that's activated as well. So I'm assuming that's some sort of like kind of fog of war type of thing.
Like fuck what? That does
Yeah.
seem a little bit weird.
But
To
why
increase
would you
the-
increase the weapons if you're going to increase the enemy difficulty? Is that not just kind of counteracting?
I suppose it depends on what they mean by difficulty. Is it
Yeah.
their health or is it their AI ability?
Yeah.
Don't know. It does seem a bit like,
It's a bit, yeah.
you know,
it's a bit
make it
weird.
difficult. Make it difficult by putting it here
But then
for
bring
the
you up
enemies,
with it.
but then bring you up closer to it. Like, just don't go this high. Then just go
Yeah.
a little bit higher.
It's weird. Another little fun one, weird one. Quantum World. No gravity. No fall damage. Basically, you're gonna jump like a bitch.
It must be low gravity then, not no.
Yeah, low gravity. Sorry, and then
No
like
gravity.
loads of nuked creatures and stuff. So you're gonna have some.
Yeah.
You're gonna be jumping
Sorry
down.
if you can hear my dog snoring, by the way.
No, I can't hear anything.
All right, that's cool.
It's not coming through. Don't worry. I'll be telling it to shut up.
I can hear him. Trust me.
The fifth one is called Butcher's Delight, and that's infinite ammo. No attribute points to be used when you're using your VATs or your melee attacks. So basically, that's another kind of go hell for leather on the AI and on other players and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of turns it into a bit more of a shooter rather than.
Okay, so your honest opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do any of those things tempt you to go back to play that game?
I've been tempted to go back anyway, but I think the building, the creative world one, can be quite interesting. I think because I didn't build enough. It used to pee me off.
I did. I built enough that you can't build enough.
Yeah.
That's basically the problem. And coming from Fallout 4, of the whole point was to build up your base, and then it would get attacked and you protect it and all this kind of good stuff. They just ripped it out of the game.
Yeah, but you didn't have to do that though in the end, did you, on Fallout 4?
No, you didn't have to, but it had that in it.
Yeah, I finished
the one
Fallout
the
4
one thing that pissed
I defended it
the one
pretty
thing
well.
that pissed people off about Fallout 4, right, was you could build these bases, you could add stuff to them, you could put your electrics in, you could do whatever you wanted to it, right?
Yeah.
And it was neat, it was cool what you could do, but the biggest problem was you couldn't show anyone.
No.
Because it wasn't multiplayer, right? So you couldn't invite your mate in and have a look what you've done and play it together and have that kind of game, right? So then they bring out Fallout 76 with the multiplayer concept. Great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they've brought multiplayer in and then removed the content that made Fallout 4 any good.
Yeah.
Because 76 is just like it is relatively small, the map.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't take your base with you, or you people do, because you might as well, but you build this like tiny little camp. It's not a base, you just build a little camp to like store your stuff in, and you can fast travel about it and stuff like that.
There was. Go on, sorry,
the whole point. I just find it a little bit funny. Like, the whole point of survival games is to survive. right? And in Fallout 76, what are you surviving from? Like, you might as well have just stayed in the place you came out of, the vault that you came out of. Because the vault you came out of was better equipped than the camp that you can build.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna have a little nosy and see what, just see
See
what's
what
changed.
see what
We
it's any
haven't.
good and
I
stuff
haven't
like
played
that.
it for
Right?
quite some time, so it might have changed a fair bit
I
since then.
played it and I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah,
I just
we done quite a
at the
lot in it, to be
time.
fair.
Yeah, we did, and there's part of me that enjoyed playing it, and then I just got to the point with it where I was like, I don't know why I'm doing anything.
Yeah, there was
There
that.
wasn't
Remember
really a
that?
storyline. There was no storyline to it, not properly.
There
There
was
was
that
no.
warehouse. Do you remember that warehouse we took over?
Yeah, you could take over places that would generate like resources and
Yeah,
stuff for
because we
you.
were generating loads of resources
Yeah,
and
and
that, and then we were trying to defend
and then
it.
people would come and try and take it like PvP or
Yeah,
even PvE. But it, there was, the uproar of that game was there was very little NPCs. There was no one would talk. Like none of the game characters actually talked. There was no story.
yeah,
So if there's no story, there's just these very vague missions that you got to do, and then apparently you're trying to survive. Like I never really got it. I never really understand what the point was. So if you don't get that in a game, then why play it?
yeah.
And they
Well,
kind of proving that point a little bit by giving you 5 game modes that feel like game modes in games that just have a tiny map.
yeah, they've basically done a fucking Minecraft on us.
You know, mate, think of any other open world survival game
Yeah.
that brings in game modes that just take that and slightly change it. I don't really know any.
Well, let's
And
say
you're only doing this.
I'm
You're only doing it for playability,
I'm
like
gonna give it another go
replayability.
and see if there's anything
Fair
much has
enough.
changed.
Yeah, cool. Cool.
I might
You can do it. You
turn it
can
on
do
for
it, and then
half
you
an
can tell
hour,
me.
and then I might end up turning it back off. It might end up being, oh, Mike, get on this.
But that's cool, right? You do that, and you can tell me, and you can tell the audience whether it's worth it or not. Because
Yeah,
I definitely fell out with it. I think they made a big mistake,
yeah.
and I didn't want
Just
them to. To be
just
fair,
quickly jumping back on obviously those 5 worlds. They're going to release them in staggered stages as well. So which probably tells me that they're not quite fine tuned and finished. Happy Build is obviously
yeah.
going to be first, so your creative mode, and then each one will come out over time. So if you want to give that a go, jump on there, see what it's like. I'm going to do it.
I might play that one just to see about creative, but
Let's see how we get on.
didn't have great. Didn't find myself building much stuff in it because there was no point.
Well,
Right, we'll stop
that's
because I'm clearly bitter about that game.
you know, we know that.
I mean, we have our opinion. I'm not gonna lie about it. I was pretty
Yeah,
disappointed, but
we don't always have the
um,
same opinion, which is
we don't. There is other updates that came out for Fallout 76 that I've not played either, so they maybe have
like I say,
addressed
I think there's going to be a lot. It's going to be changed a hell of a lot since we've last played it.
some of these issues. So in that sense, potentially, and the fact that it's Bethesda anyway, and it's all part of Game Pass and stuff now
Yeah,
makes it.
I mean, we were chatting just before this about Division 2, and you've made me kind of in the back of my head. That's all I'm thinking about now. I think, oh, I quite fancy jumping back on that. Did you have a little go again?
Yeah, that's our biggest problem.
Yeah,
Anyone listening, all we tend to do is game hop.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with game hopping. Nothing wrong with
I
that.
mean, no, you're entertaining yourself, and that's the whole point of playing games. But the complete games of a certain type because it's generally the ones that I'm not playing with you, or single player stuff, and then co-op games that we play together. Like we just don't end up finishing them. We just move on to the next game when it comes out.
Aye. Right, let's quickly move on. What I'll do is I'll pass the mic, I suppose, little virtual mic, over to you.
Me, Mike.
Yep, and you can. I'll pass the virtual mic on to Mike and see what you let us know what goodies you've got to let the world know about.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it.
Start off. I'm going to start off by saying one that people might want to know today. I don't know if you're aware, but it is International Star Trek Day today.
On that note, everybody, let's call that a day, and we've lost everyone now, Mike. That's it. Everyone's gone.
Not necessarily everyone. I only bring it up because so there's a website called COG.
Can I just say as well,
Cog.
I'm nowhere near 40. I'm the other side of 40. And although you might not think it now, Mike's just opened his mouth. He is also the same age as well.
The younger side of 40.
Yeah, that's what I
Not the
meant.
other
Yeah.
side of 40.
Well, you're talking about Star Trek now, so you know.
I don't care. I used to watch it. No problem. You like what you like. Days have gone of the. Everyone classes themselves as a geek now. It's the new norm.
Geek is chic.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it is. You know, back in the day when you were like some lonely gamer or some gamer that played it, just on an evening and stuff, you wouldn't dare tell anyone. Now, if you're a gamer, you might as well be a YouTube star, man. Everyone's doing it. So no one cares. But I bring it up because there's a website called GOG, which is like seems to be a website where you can,
GOG.com.
yeah, GOG.com, download games and stuff like that. It's got a store and stuff. They've just, in support of it, have added 8 of the Star Trek game titles that have existed in the past. They're not free. You've got to pay for them, but they've got all of them there, including some of the old ones that I used to play, Star Trek Armada and stuff, because it was like an RTS game. Some of the others that are there, and there's a few there that I've checked as well, and there's a few there that are like not available on places like Steam and Epic Store and stuff like that. So, just thought that was an interesting one.
Right.
On other news, I did find something that was interesting. I've got one for you. So you've heard me play of a game called Star Citizen.
Yes.
The ridiculously, £200 million game or whatever it is now. That's been going on, and they clearly get money from people pre-ordering content or pre-ordering the game, because you can still play it in pre-beta, and they get money from people buying ships and this kind of stuff. Yeah. They've had their hand slapped recently for basically selling ships to people that might never end up being in the game.
That might never be in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, this is generally what happens. They put a concept of a ship, right?
Right.
Normally, there's a concept of a ship. This ship's going to come in the game. You buy the game, you buy the ship, and then when it's launched in the game, you own the ship. Right?
Right.
With real money. Right? Oh man, there's like ridiculous ships for like thousands of pounds and stuff on that game. It's stupid. Now they've basically been in trouble because they've been putting ships up that you can potentially buy, or you can buy, like a pre-order almost. Yet they may not actually make them.
Right. That just seems bizarre. Really does seem bizarre.
I know. I'm just reading what they said. That's what we're fed up with.
Just seems like absolute
Yeah.
bonkers.
So they've got a ship at the moment called the Gatak. It's Gatak Raylan ship. It's on sale.
Right.
On their store. Right. So it's a ship that you can pay real money for, on sale. However, it doesn't actually exist in the game. Like, it's not even been made. It's just a concept drawing of the ship.
Right, okay.
and that it might never actually exist in the game.
But I suppose that's the game anyway, isn't it? Because isn't the game not out yet?
But it
And
is like released.
yeah,
It's not officially released, but it's released in beta, so you can
yes,
pay for
but
the game now and
then
you can get the game.
there's people buying the game, or I suppose like crowdfunding type thing that you can put money in, but it might never ever come to fruition.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But um,
So is that not the same concept in a way?
it's probably not when they already have ships for sale that are actually in the
Basically,
game.
give us some money and we'll develop the ship for you.
They're pretty much loading it like that, yeah,
Right.
rather than spending some
Fund
time
our
making some
developers.
content. Yeah, the game's designed like that, is trying to get funding to finish something, to continue the funding,
Yeah.
and it's this ever ending loop going around. But basically, they've basically been in trouble that they shouldn't. There was no disclaimer. There was no mention that the ship might not be produced or anything like that. I mean, we've all been in games where you can buy products. You know what I mean, with coins or whatever. Um, you'd be pretty pissed off if you clicking on a skin for Call of Duty or whatever, um, pre-order like a pre-order skin. You click on it, and then I don't know, 6 months later they just say, "Oh no, we're not actually going to make that." And whether they give you the money back or not, I have no idea.
Yeah. Just
But
craziness. I don't think they will. I think they'll be part of in their terms, won't
yeah, but crazy. Anyway,
they? Yeah.
move on. I just thought it was a really interesting concept. That game's weird when it comes down to it. Um, the other thing, if you want me to bring these up just now, was that we talked in the previous week a little bit about Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction
Yeah, we can bring these two up now. Yeah.
and Tom Clancy's X Defiant. Yeah, okay. I said I would look into them a bit more because we kind of caught them off at the time of the stream. So give you a little bit of a
Sell it to me. Go on, sell it to me. I
sell it.
honestly, I've seen a little bit of a trailer, and that is it. So sell it to me, but don't oversell it.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm just reading something that I took a note of. That I don't get them mixed up.
So it's Tom Clancy. What was the game? Which one you talking about first?
So they're both Tom Clancy.
Yep.
We'll go with Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction.
Go for it.
Um, so I'm just going to read a little synopsis of what it is, so we just get a general idea, and then I'm going to say some things about it. So Rainbow Six Extraction is a cooperative multiplayer game that can support up to 3 players. In
Right.
Extraction, the operators must infiltrate an alien-infested location and complete objectives, such as collect samples, extract materials for computers, and gather intel. Each player session, known as an incursion, is made up of 3 interconnected submaps, and players will be assigned any one of 12 objectives randomly in each submap. In all honesty, it does go on, but that's pretty much the game.
Right.
Kind of alien mode. I do have a question for you about it, and that is that if I can find the bit I was reading about, apparently,
Deep in thought. He's deep in thought.
I know I do look like I'm deep in thought. I don't know if it's this one, but one of these they nicked. The original idea was actually going to be done on a game that you play that I don't play.
That narrows it down to quite a few.
A few hundred games.
I was going to say a few hundred games.
Oh wait, no, it must be in. Okay, here we go. Watch Dogs 2.
All right. Yes. Yes.
So Extraction originated from a project named Pioneer, which was first teased in Watch Dogs 2.
Right.
I don't know if you
I,
saw anything in Watch Dogs 2 to
I
like.
didn't play, if that's part of I can't speak, part of the multiplayer. I didn't do much of the multiplayer.
I don't think it was a game mode from what I can read. I think it was just it was like teased
Right, okay.
within Watch Dogs 2 as another game that was potentially going to come out, which
Ah,
was meant
right,
to
okay, I
be
see what
a
you're
like
saying, yeah.
sci-fi exploration game,
Right.
according to that.
I think without, unless I play it, I mean, when I start, if we play it, it'd be like, oh yeah, I can see it now, but I can't remember. Honestly, can't
But
remember.
basically, you know your general horde mode games.
Yes, yes.
It's like horde mode, but in a Rainbow Six Siege kind of gameplay setting.
Right, okay.
So the Rainbow Six Siege gameplay, has always done pretty well. The mechanics of Siege are very good. People are still playing it and are probably going to still play that for a long time to come. They're putting basically putting a horde mode in Siege and then tying it up to make it along that lines, which could make it pretty good. Could make it pretty intense
Right.
because there's no Siege. There's no messing about in Siege. Siege is just Siege, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
you do what you
Yeah.
do in it. Now they're just throwing aliens in the mix and making it a bit more like rounds and waves and stuff like that. So, um, it's pretty cool. Like you say, there's more we could talk about, but I'm not going to go into them too detailed. I personally think it's a game to watch.
It does
Out
look
for
pretty decent from what I've seen, so
Yeah, check
and
out some YouTube videos. The videos are very good. People are talking about it like it's going to be a good game.
yeah,
So can't really complain about it, and it's don't have that long. January 2022.
don't blame us if it's crap though, because we've been stung plenty of times in the past.
Yep, definitely. Um, moving on.
Can I just quickly point
So
out there, when we were saying about getting stung in the past, I always remember there was a game called Naughty Bear, and one of the lads who's probably listening to this right now, right? Yeah, I
you even
remember.
told me to play that game.
I remember I got this on. I used to be on Boomerang Rentals, so I used to get like the games in through the door. Um, just play them on like loads of different games all the time. I was like, Naughty Bear, this looks class, it looks class. Came through the door, bangs it in. I think, yes, can't wait to sit down and play this. 5 minutes in, I tell you what, that thing was back in the packet and it was straight back to the rental. What a load of shit. That was one of the worst games I think I've ever played. That was just awful. It's just like I think it's a Dead by Daylight, so you have um, bas- basically you've got to. I can't remember if you got to get to a certain place or something like that on the map, but if you get caught, um, you you were killed, but killed in weird different ways and stuff. But it was just shit. The map was so tiny. It was just yeah. Move on, come on. I can't. I'm not even going to waste any more time on it.
Yeah. The other game I'm supposed to keep on the radar um, is this Tom Clancy's X Defiant as well.
What's that? Sorry,
Um,
Tom Clancy's.
X Defiant.
Just letter X. Is that?
Yeah, X
Yep.
Defiant's one word. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, Obviously made by Ubisoft as well, which is fair enough. This is going to be a 6v6 multiplayer shooter where players with use customized weapons, unique abilities, and traits to earn a hard fought victory. Um, this one kind of I've had a look over this. This one kind of makes me feel a little bit like the game modes of Rainbow Six Siege.
Mhm.
Not the so much sieging, which is a bit stupid, but the sieging in. But like generally where they have rounds, it's
Yeah.
players v players. That concept. Um, it looks very fast paced. Um, it looks pretty ruthless in the game. Like killing people is pretty fast, pretty efficient in it. Um, and your abilities look like they regenerate, which makes me feel a little bit like the Division.
Right. Okay.
You know, where you used to pick what like equipment you had.
Yeah.
Pretty much like that. Which is cool. I think there's going to be 4 different factions that you can play as. Yeah, so you can play as 4 different factions: the Cleaners, the Wolves, Outcasts, and the Echelon. I think it's pronounced.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
which all 4 of these are within all the different franchises of Ubisoft. Um, the Cleaners and the Outcasts are from the Division. The Wolves are from Ghost Recon, and the Echelon is a group from Splinter Cell, which I do remember that.
Mhm.
Um, and basically, depending on which group you are, they all have like different traits and abilities,
Right. Okay.
and which one you pick. The one thing that I would say that I think could be quite interesting is they are going to let you be able to switch out your class while playing.
Right.
So you know, like most other kind of games like this, you pick your character
Yeah. So
and that's it.
do you think it's going to be a bit like Battlefront, where a Battlefield, sorry, where you can switch on death, or is it just on the fly,
Uh,
or is it once you die you're kind of out, or do you know what I mean? Or
so unlike many competitive games, X Defiant will allow players to change their Defiant's faction, abilities, and loadouts upon respawning in a match.
right. Okay. So yeah. So it's on respawning, so it's after death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This ensures that players are not committed to a loadout as soon as you go into a match, which feels will add more competitive depth to the game. Um, I suppose it's pretty good because it means you could change up your character and your loadout depending on
Yeah.
what's actually
It's
happening in the
it's
game.
it's one of the things I like about Battlefield, because Battlefield, I can go in a game as a medic and then find that I'm having a shitter. So then, it's a wide open
Yeah,
map.
and
So you
change
go
your
in as a
weapon
sniper. You can,
or
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
change your whole gameplay
yeah,
around it. Can change the whole
yeah.
game.
Exactly. So the fact that you can change your faction abilities and loadouts while already in a match is pretty cool. I think that's good.
Yeah,
Um, but no, it looks nice. It looks pretty good looking and everything. It doesn't look like it's cheaply made. Um, and I suppose the other good part about it is that it's completely free to play.
cool, good. That's good.
So can't complain about that. Um, I think that's about it for
Right. Okay then.
news related stuff that I had.
Let's move on to games we've been playing. Then I suppose.
Hmm.
Right, I'll kick this one off then. So I've been playing, or I played, um, Hellblade. I went back to it. This is a game I started many moons ago.
Hmm.
I was told to kind of revisit it, and it had a free upgrade to Series X, so enhanced um, gameplay,
Yeah.
and yeah, the game just it looks unreal. I went through, I finished that now. I got my full 1,000 out of 1,000 in my achievements.
Achievement hard. Achievement hard.
So yeah, I played through that. That was brilliant. Enjoyed that.
Okay.
Very very story driven. Not too difficult. Difficult at times, but yeah, just you want something to play. I'm sure that's sat there on Game Pass. So give that one a little look at. I also moved on to Fantasy Star Online 2,
Hmm.
a new Genesis. I've played a good hour and a half, 2 hours of this just to kind of touch water and see what it's like. I'm not convinced at the minute. Possibly you've got to play a little bit more to see what that's. Oh, hopefully it unlocks a bit more, and it's nothing like the. I don't feel like it's like something like the original. Then again, I think if I went back to the original, we've spoke about this in previous episodes, that when you've played these games from years ago, leave them there. Don't go back to them because they're shit. I
Yep.
believe if
Yeah.
I went back to Fantasy Star
Playing.
Online, it'd be crap now, but
Yeah, and it is a funny concept, isn't it?
yeah,
That was the GameCube day.
Yeah.
Was
I
Fantasy
think I
Star
think I
Online.
hit it. I hit it when I'm sure it was on Dreamcast. I think that's when I went on it.
Right. Okay. And
So
it was a good game then
yeah,
because there wasn't other games to compare it to as much.
yeah.
But now there probably is quite a lot of other games to compare it to. So
That's it. So what I mean, that's a RPG
it's an
online.
MMO, is it? It's MMO, isn't it?
RPG sorry, yes, MMO. Sorry, um, yeah, hack and slash. It seems alright, but it just feel a little bit dated and very, I don't know how to say this, um, manga style. You know, just a little bit weird. Anyway, I've had to go on that. I need to play a little bit more of that to kind of give it a better review and possibly give it a bit more credit than's due. I went on to Super Bomberman. Had a little go on
Yep.
that. Don't think I need to tell everyone what Bomberman is.
No.
um, I've been playing Knight of Pen and Paper Deluxe Edition, which is part of I think it's either part of Game Pass or I got this on Games of Gold. So this is you sit down and you're around like you're at a table and it's a bit like Dungeons and Dragons in a
Okay.
way that this guy's kind of telling this story and you're playing out the story, but that is a turn-based fighting game. So as she's telling the story, this like fight going on up here, and like you're dressed up as like a wizard, or you get to choose your characters. You dress up as a wizard or you know, a warrior or whatnot, and you get different power ups, you level up, and so on and so forth. And that was pretty cool. It's not the best game in the world, but it's just like a little time filler. I just keep going back to it every now and then. Just kill
Yeah.
a bit of time. I won't talk about that one just yet because I know we want to talk about that one. Actually, there's the next two. I know you've played the next two, so I
Okay.
think what we do is we'll go through all the games you've played now, and then the last two games I've played. We'll talk about that together.
Okay.
I'll drop which ones those are, and that's Surgeon Simulator 2 and Brawlhalla.
All right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll
Cool.
save those ones till towards the end of this.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. I'm gonna keep these relatively short.
yep.
Um. So, one game that I have been playing that um is a bit of an interesting one. Um, which Craig knows nothing about,
Oh yeah,
is
are you sure?
uh yeah, a game on Steam I've been playing is called Undefeated,
All right, okay.
and it's a I think it's a Japanese game made as like a superhero simulation game for Superman, but it's not Superman because they're not legally allowed to call it Superman.
Right, okay.
Basically, what happened was um, Warner Brothers Studios have never made a decent Superman game ever, and have claimed that you can't make one. And some Japanese developer have basically proved that you can. They've released a demo called Undefeated on Steam. It's completely free to play. Um, and I think they've downloaded. There's another part to it which lets you do like a sandboxy mode, where you can test out some other features and stuff that are not in the kind of demo. And the demo's pretty good. You're in a city, you have to go fight people, but you're the way they've done it is that you're completely indestructible, so you can't die. But to give you a game over clause, the city being destroyed has like a percentage in it.
Right,
So
okay.
if you don't do things quick enough, then you effectively the city will be destroyed and you game over anyway. Um, but it's quite interesting to play. It's fully 3D. It looks pretty good. It looks very good. The flying in it is absolutely amazing. Um, the fighting concepts and the way the game plays and stuff like that. It's just quite interesting. Like I say, it's completely free. It's quite a small download. It's worth just having a little bit of a mesh about with, especially if you like superheroes. Um, which is great. The other one is a game called Automachef.
Yeah.
So I picked this up from the Epic Game Store as a free game. Now I've just had another look, and it's now not free. So I don't know how many people are aware of this, or even if Craig's aware of this.
We did
But
mention. Sorry, I just want to jump in. We did mention on the last episode or the episode before that about obviously Epic Games and releasing free games every. I think it's every month or every week. I can't quite remember how often the turnaround is on them.
yeah, it's every week.
Right, every week. Yep. And some of them
Gives you a
can be
free game every week.
quite good games.
Yeah,
There has been a
they've
couple of
got
triple A's in there.
they've got Yokus Island Express at the moment. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
And they've got
that.
Sheltered. You know Sheltered?
Yeah. We played Sheltered. Yeah.
Sheltered's coming soon. I think Sheltered we get free part of Game Pass anyway, but
Yeah.
Sheltered's coming soon as well. But yeah, basically Automachef was a 10. Buy it now. It's 10.99 to buy that game. So getting it for free wasn't a bad deal at all. I'm not gonna go into too many details because I have actually done a recording of that game, and I'm probably gonna follow through as a series for it.
Get that on there.
So that'll be getting launched on YouTube.
I'll have a little nosy on that.
Probably Friday. I'll be
Right.
putting that up. So just to give you a quick overview, anyway, Automachef is a cooking automation game. You don't do the cooking, but you have to put the equipment together to automate the cooking procedure.
Right.
And you get challenges to do it, trying to do it the most efficient without wasting ingredients, this sort of stuff. It's it's just drag and drop. You just drop things in next to each other like conveyor belts and packing machines and fryers and grills, robot arms, and you have to move stuff around. If you like automation, if you like puzzle games, it's right up there. There is absolutely a phenomenal amount of levels, and it gets incredibly complex at certain points. But it's great. In honesty, I think it's fun. I think it's good fun. I love the puzzle of it. I love the challenge of it. Trying to be, efficient in it and not waste material, and that kind of part of the game is pretty good. And it's quite an easy game to kind of play. It's complex, but it's only complex if you want to try and get to the max everything out. Kind of thing.
Well, as soon as you've got that up, I'll have a little look at that myself. I'm sure I might have questions for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So like I said, I've done a recording of it. I'm going to publish that. The recording I've done, I have intentionally missed I do mention this in the video, but I've intentionally missed the tutorial out.
Right.
And I've done like 1 or 2 levels, and I think I'm on to the 3rd level, and then I explain the game, and then we go through the 3rd level and the 4th level together.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I've missed the tutorial out is because in other videos that I've seen where people have showed this sort of stuff, you guys have to do the tutorial as part of the game because it unlocks in level tiered order, and I always find it really annoying to have to watch a stream or watch a video of someone do a tutorial that I have to then do that is now really simple to do because I've just watched someone else do it.
But you're quite happy to show the full game every other level and show them how to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just tender bit.
Well, so for me, I have a feeling that some people will probably never play the game, and that's fine, and they're just watching it for the enjoyment of watching it, and that's absolutely great. If you're playing the game, then the chances are you might play it a bit more than me, which means you'll surpass where I get up to, or you might just want to see how I did it compared to how you're going to do it, which is great. But yeah, I don't know why. It's only my own personal opinion. I've just watched, I watch a few people play these games to see if I like them as well, and I've seen them play, and then they do the tutorial, and then I have to go. I then have to do the tutorial when I put the game on, and I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like that part of it. I think for me, what I've tried to do is because I've explained the game concept and what you need to do and how you're playing it. I've kind of you've now got 2 tutorial options.
Right.
You can listen to me, watch the game, see if you enjoy the game, listen to me explain the game to you and show you how to play the game. And then when you turn the game on, you're also going to get a very basic tutorial just to prove on those points that I mentioned in the first place. And then you can carry on from there and fire on. And you've got a couple of levels to do that you didn't see me do.
Well, Mike, people stopped listening to you 30 minutes ago when you said Star Trek, so...
Fair enough. Fair enough. Valid point. Valid point. All good stuff. All good stuff.
Right, have you got any more there that you've played other than obviously the two we mentioned?
No, not apart from the other two that me and you have been playing. So.
Yeah, well, there is another one as a third one, but I'll mention that. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll quickly do a run over.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'll do a run over of Brawlhalla. So yeah, I know me and Mike have been playing that. There is actually a video posted up on the Facebook page on there. I haven't uploaded that to YouTube yet, which I probably should do. But I'm a little bit embarrassed because I was absolute dog shit at it.
True, but we have turned it around.
Oh yes, but I think it was about an hour-long video, and for about 50 minutes I was shite, and I don't think we won a game until the last 10 minutes.
That might be more entertaining than you think.
No, but we did start actually getting better doing the whole, jumping off and knocking people down and so on and so forth.
Do you want to explain what Brawlhalla is to people?
Yeah, I was just about to say there. So if people don't know what Brawlhalla is, it's the best thing to do, and Mike probably knows what I'm going to compare it to, is Smash Brothers. If you've ever played Smash Brothers, it's a very, very similar concept to that. Just with different... I think there's...
Free to play Smash Brothers without Nintendo characters.
Yeah, obviously there's other characters in there that you can purchase. There's a lot of crossover with different games, even TV programs such as like Walking Dead and stuff like that. So you can play as Rick or Michonne. Yeah, the Turtles. Yeah. There's lots on there.
They're whacking loads of characters into it. Yeah,
sure. yeah, definitely ploughing it in.
You definitely don't need to buy any of them either. So
no, you earn in-game credits as well to unlock the other heroes that are not your licensed ones. The only licensed one you can buy with the credit is Rayman. All the other heroes are purchased with real money, but from what I can see, it's not or doesn't feel like a pay-to-win game.
No, because you all have the same. You all have the same move combinations.
Yes, it's
but the animation of that move is different. So they do play differently, but
very, very easy game to play. If you ever played Smash Brothers, it's very much like that. If you've not, basically you're on a platform. You can do 1v1, 2v2, or you can do free for all. So there's 4s on the screen, last man standing basically. The object of the game is to knock them off the side of the screen, or basically right off the screen, so you can knock them up, down, left, right. You have a health bar. As that health bar goes down, and as soon as you get knocked, you potentially could go flying. There is ways to counter. Well, not counter. I suppose you can block. There's weapon drops, and to be honest, with the fighting mechanics of it, there's 2 buttons to it. 2 attacks, a heavy attack and a light attack, and depending on which direction you press as you do it or hold, then it gives you a different attack. So it's very...
Which is the same, which is very similar to Smash Bros.
Yeah, very basic and easy game to pick up.
I would probably say there is some moments in it where you get hits and you're very much like... You get a very nice feeling for someone trying to get on a platform and you hit them...
And you do get very pissed off. It's like sometimes it's like playing against... remember back when you were like 12... 13, 14-year-old and you used to play on games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, and your mate used to do the same move over and over and over again. Sit with Chun-Li or bloody E Honda in the middle of the screen waving his arm or waving her leg around constantly.
That does not look like what you're doing. That's better.
So you do get a lot of that. I do find you get a lot of that, and it's just trying to find a way to counter that. And as soon as you've done that, you're away with it. So that's Brawlhalla. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Mike, or I do know it's on a different platform, so I think you can get it on PC, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. I can't speak for the PlayStation. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm going to presume it probably is.
Possibly.
If it's out on the rest of them.
In fact, I've got a feeling, I'm almost sure it's even on Android, you know. So it's possibly on absolutely everything. Oh, sorry, I've got some in my eye. Yep, so it's on Android as well.
Okay, so it's on all platforms.
Yep, possibly on
No, I mean
iOS as well.
for being a free to play game, it's a good game. Like
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can't knock it.
Definitely give that one a go. I want to move on to Surgeon Simulator 2. Right, I'll put my little piece in, and then I'll put you.
That's a good idea.
You can put your piece in because we originally
I don't
went
know
on
if
to
I have
play
much to say.
We went on to originally play multiplayer, and let's just
You couldn't.
go as far as to say that we could not get the multiplayer to work. The game is slightly broken.
Uh-huh.
My experience of it was, I think I launched the game up, it took ages to load, wouldn't load, so I had to dashboard it, quit the game, go back in. I did this 3 times, eventually got into the game, played through, struggled with some of the mechanics because I could not grab things, because I remember when, I think you were playing it and you didn't know this either, so when you hold the left trigger and you use the right stick, that turns your wrist or your hand.
Yeah, I think
But when you
a good
hold
thing would be to explain that.
it does have that in the game, but they're actually on the wall on like posters.
Yeah, but what I mean to people listening,
Yeah,
what is the game mechanic? Like what
yeah.
you
But
do?
I was
Why is it?
So I was going to kind of get, so basically, yeah, you're holding the left trigger, that moves your wrist, and then what I didn't realise is if you hold LB, you can reach out. Now that is a massive fundamental part of the game because the object of the game, or the idea or concept of the game, is basically you're given a body. You're pretty much on a surgeon's table, and you're asked to do certain tasks to this gentleman. Was he called Bob? He was called Bob,
I think
wasn't he?
so.
Yep.
Yeah,
So it might
like cut his leg off or
cut his leg off.
his leg was out.
You've got to keep him alive, keep the blood flowing, pop a new leg on, take the
Inject
lungs
him.
out or kidneys
Yeah.
out, replace them. Basically, that is pretty much the game. Sounds very dull, maybe
Yeah.
a bit boring, but the concept of it is it could be quite fun. So you can be throwing body parts around. There's loads of yous all trying to do the same thing at the same time, lobbing hearts across the like surgery room, putting that in and trying to do everything dead quick. And it did sound very fun. However, like I said, we didn't get a chance to play the multiplayer.
No, I think for one thing of it though, just I don't know whether you've said this, is that you control your character like moving around,
Yeah.
right? But the control of being able to do anything is by your left arm only,
Oh yeah, it's like
right?
weird.
So it's left arm only. You control grabbing, you control the wrist movement of your hand, and you control the reach of your arm back and forth.
Yeah.
And if you wherever you're looking, your hand points in the same direction. So if you look down, your hand will point down.
Yeah.
So you have to do all these tasks that Craig's just pointed out by basically moving your hand in the right place, which kind of feels more like a crane than it does a hand.
Yeah.
But you see, you have to pick these things up, rotate your hand around, so you're picking up a syringe the right way, or picking up a scalpel the right way, or whatever, which makes the entire process very clumsy. And that's the whole point.
Yes. It's
It
just meant
makes
to
it
be
difficult
manic and crazy
and
and
difficult.
yeah.
It's difficult to do. You've got time limits. People are going to die. You pull a leg off, and then he's running out of blood, and you need to inject him. You've got to go run off, pick a syringe up, and bring it back and stick it into him, while trying to manipulate this one arm that you've got
Yeah.
to kind of do it, and that makes it a puzzle game.
I think I did get
Makes it
pissed off.
very frustrating.
Yeah, I got pissed off at one point and pulled his leg off and started beating him with his own leg.
I found it weird. I found it hard. I'm gonna put it in the category that I found it. Two things for me, and then you can say whatever you want. I found the controls obviously difficult,
Yeah,
and that more to me was because there's not a game that I've played that has that sort of mechanic in it.
yeah. But I pre-warned you on that one as well.
You did pre-roll me a bit, and I agree with you. The controls are difficult. Probably as I play through the game, I'll probably get a bit more familiar with the controls and understand it a bit better, and I'll be able to know what button to press and what order, and be able to pick things up a bit quicker. So I think that might go away. That
Hmm.
feeling might go away, and we'll be better at that. And that'll be okay because then we won't have that kind of held over you. Um, and then it'll just be a bit manic and a bit fun and that sort of stuff. On the second part of that, to have a game that is going to be frustrating at the start,
Yeah,
because that's effectively what it is. To then have a game that is broken with load times that are astronomically long, to then have to quit out and try and reload it for it to not work properly, it's also an added level of frustration.
yeah,
So I feel like we got to our frustration level very quickly
yeah. Our
of
highest
turning that
point
game off. Yeah.
when
Now
we said
we're
rather than
objective.
go over the top, didn't we? That's what you say. We came off.
We came off because I genuinely agree with you, and I know you could tell from my perspective of it that it was winding me up
Yeah,
to the point of me probably never playing that game again, which is unfair because you're not giving it the chance
yeah.
of what it's potentially capable of doing. And I do want to play it with you, and maybe we'll play it together and still have the same feelings, and we won't play it again. But I do. It does bring me to a point of worry that there's games out there that they come out and they don't function correctly or don't work properly. And okay, I can understand bugs. I can understand things not being quite right, but bringing out a game where you just can't join it, or you can't physically join multiplayer because you were apparently online and I was offline,
Yeah.
um, or
It
you have to
it
spend 4 or 5 attempts loading the game up to try and get into it.
it was broken,
It's
but
not.
they do
It's not on.
they do when you press the start button openly in the pause in the options menu. There, you've literally got all your settings, and right there next to your settings, they have an area for bugs and whatnot. So I think they know that there's issues, and that's what that's there for. Is to
Yeah,
it's so in your face,
I
almost in
I
your
get
face, to kind of give you that option to
I
do that
I
straight
get
away.
it, but then it feels like you're
I'm not
paying.
trying to I'm not
No,
trying
but we
to
we get it.
like it.
We play in that game because we get it as part of Xbox Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're playing it. But I don't pay for Xbox Game Pass to be a beta tester of a
Yes,
game without knowing I'm a beta tester.
but you say that, right? And I know what line you're going down here, but that game also released on, I think, on the Nintendo Switch as well, and
Uh-huh.
other platforms. So if it's like that on the Xbox, does that not then kind of think you, well, actually, I was going to buy that on the Switch so I could play that on the go, but I'm not going to do that now because it's broken, it's fucked.
Oh yeah, no, no,
So
yeah, I agree with you.
it's not in their best interest to
Yeah, yeah,
I know you're
but
saying it could
they've
potentially be
give you
released as a beta, but is it? Was it intentionally done like that, or do
but
you think?
they've give you a specific error in the game
Yeah,
to report bugs from
yeah,
within the game. Not many
yes,
games do that.
no, I know,
So they've done that with the intention of knowing that there's going to be bugs.
yeah,
Therefore, they released a game that they knew was broken.
yeah,
And I personally feel that they've done that because they probably had to for budget reasons or whatever like that. But I feel like if you're putting it onto Xbox Live Game Pass, you have got a big pool of players that are going to turn that game on straight away because it's a free. To us, it's an additional game that we're
yeah,
already paying for a subscription for. But I don't agree with having your Xbox Game Pass community effectively testing a game out
yeah.
when it's not noted that that's what it is. Why didn't
That
they just call it a pre-release?
that being said, that I just want to point out that don't let that discredit Xbox Game Pass of what you're saying. because
No, I'm not blaming. I'm
no,
not
no,
blaming
yeah, I know.
Xbox
I'm just
Game
saying,
Pass.
don't,
No,
don't.
no, no. I'm not. No, I'm not blaming Xbox Game Pass. I'm blaming the developers of that game.
Yes, right.
But that's what I'm saying, right? There's games on Xbox Game Pass. I think we played one called like Extraction,
Yes,
right? We played that game. It was clearly labeled as a pre-release game,
yeah.
still in beta, right?
It
That
worked fine for
that
me.
means, yeah. My point is, if I click on that game, I know that that game can be broken.
Yes,
Now I'm not going to get that frustrated with it because I know I take that ownership of clicking on a beta testing game or a pre-release game with the anticipation of the game being broken.
yeah,
I do not do that with a game that is being fully released.
yes, yeah,
And I definitely don't want to be doing that with a game that's fully released with a built-in facility to then report bugs. That is normally in a pre-release game.
yeah. No, I agree
I
with you.
play a lot
I
of
totally
games
agree with
like that, and you can, I'm a part of some beta testing games at the moment, and we have Discord channels and stuff, and I report bugs, and I do that part, and I do my part in that, and I do it a lot. But I just worry that if some developer, I know you're saying that it's been released on Switch and other things like that, and fingers crossed that it just works on their platforms. Um, but I hope that they didn't intentionally release it on Xbox Game Pass because they had a pool of people that would effectively test it for them
you. Yeah. No, I get what
without
you're
paying
saying.
anyone. That's all I mean. I will give it another try. I do want to kind of give it its option and give it its chance because I think the principles of the game are unlike other games that we play,
Yeah.
and I think it could potentially be like incredibly funny, um, or it'd be incredibly frustrating, and and I'll break my
The,
Xbox play.
what you brought up there, though, it kind of segues into two little things I kind of want to point out here. So there's a little bit of news, obviously, that I missed out that I heard rumours that people who are in the alpha ring for the Xbox dashboard updates, there
Mhm.
was some people's consoles were actually bricking. So literally just making them
Yeah,
unplayable,
yeah,
just
yeah,
dying.
unplayable. They just don't turn on.
Um,
Yeah.
and they were going mad. They were kicking off, pissed off, sending abuse to Microsoft. Supposedly, this is the rumours, if this happened or not. But does that, if when you sign up to the Alpha Ring, one of the main things it says to you is there's going to be parts of this that potentially are not going to work. It could cause problems with your console and so on and so forth, and you take that up to yourself. Now, on my old console, I was on the Alpha Ring, um, more so to the back end of its life. I've got my Series X now. There's no way I'm putting that on the Alpha Ring
Yeah, I
because
think that's
if there's
yeah,
issues, I don't want any issues, and the
I
whole
mean
point in
I
the
mean
Alpha Ring is there's going to be issues that you need,
I I mean the disclaimer of what the issues are probably don't say about bricking your console
yeah.
because that's probably not what Microsoft are intending
Oh no, I don't think that for one
at all.
minute. But
Or not intending, but do you know what I mean? They probably didn't anticipate that that would even happen.
yeah,
And we also don't know what Xbox console they're actually talking about. Was it an X?
no,
Was it
no.
an
Like I
S?
say, it was
Was
just
it
it's
was
just
it
just a
whatever?
rumor, possibly. It was just on Twitter. I'd seen some people
But I do
complaining.
agree with you. I do
But
agree with you.
if you're
You
signing up,
signed up for an alpha.
yeah, how many times have we played betas and stuff? It's been broke, and then I think,
I just made that comment, didn't I?
yeah, we're part of
You've signed up for something.
yeah.
You're testing it.
This is
It might not
this
work.
Yeah, this is why
You
I brought it
accept
up.
the
Obviously,
consequences.
we've been in a community where we're testing games, and then you go in the community and everyone's kicking off, oh, the game's not working, and I've spent an hour trying to get on, or so on and so forth. And you
Oh
think, well,
yeah,
hang on,
well, yeah.
that's why you're on
That's
here.
the point. Yeah,
You know, this
yeah.
is this is,
And I don't
and
disagree with them.
I'll just point out this is a paid community, so you get paid to do this, and even if it doesn't work, we still get paid to do that.
Oh, you mean in the paid game testing that we
Yeah,
do?
when we do the paid game
Yeah,
testing, I've been
yeah.
in that community forums before, and there've been people been kicking off, and I think, what are you kicking off for? You're getting paid. It hasn't worked. That's the point. That you've been paid. That's your job. You've been paid to do that now. Now move
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think the problem in that in general is the ones that we've done like that, they're generally trying to mass test servers,
Yeah.
which means it's server side that they're doing the checks and the testing and the people who are actually playing the game are there to stress test it. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the people that sign up to it don't have that understanding
No.
at all. But I agree with you. I mean, a lot of games come out in pre-release now. It wasn't a thing before. If you went back 5 years, maybe 10 years, pre-release games that they all came out. They're all done as a CD or whatever. They were complete. You didn't need to go and games test them or anything like this. But I do agree with it. I think that adding to if a game looks good and you like it and you're testing it out in some way, shape, or form as a beta programmer or whatever to make that game potentially the best it can be before it's officially released.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I worry about it a little. There's quite a lot of these games that now have been on beta test releases for years,
Well,
which effectively means, is it not really like? Are you just never going to release it being more Star Citizens?
could be a development thing, like money, funding. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, don't do a beta test and bitch about it not working. That's not.
The other thing I was going to say, kind of segued on, was actually another game we played together. Bearing in mind it's been 2 weeks since we recorded. Was the control? Do you know when we were talking about the controls and the hands movements?
You'll have to repeat that.
Wow, what's up, Mike?
Caitlin pulled my microphone,
Oh,
my headset out.
we'll
Sorry.
we'll kind of rush through the next bit anyway, obviously, because I know obviously you'll be pulled away quite possibly soon.
Possibly.
So yeah, I was just saying the segue part of the other segue part of when we were talking about Surgeon Simulator with the controls and the hand movements and stuff. I was just going to say a game we've played within the last 2 weeks was Human Fall Flat. Now the controls in that, where you got the arm movements and stuff, that was quite fun. It was quite wacky. Something like that would have been a little bit more ideal. But then again, you wouldn't be able to get that precise, movement of objects and stuff, like so small. So you'd have to make the body on a more larger scale, wouldn't you, to try and achieve that same. You couldn't say remove a heart and then you've got a human fall flat size body, and then you've got your little human fall flat guy running in trying to move this little tiny heart, and it's like you just couldn't do it.
Wouldn't. No. Yeah, if human fall flat had to be specific size objects.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have the finite control.
No, we did do recording of Human Fall Flat. Unfortunately, for some unknown reason, it didn't record properly. Okay. So I think we'll do it again because I want to play through that because there was an achievement which we were very close to getting, which is play it right the way through.
Is there not another world we can play?
I think so, but there's an achievement I want to get in it purely that is literally play through the main game from start to finish. When you left the game, we were 2 levels from finishing it.
I left the game?
When we finished the night, you left, and then we were 2 levels from the end.
Oh, I thought that was the end.
Nope. You had to get off.
The one with the ship wasn't the end.
Nope, wasn't the end.
Oh, I thought that was it.
We can quickly fly through that anyway because we know what we're doing anyway, and that. And I think we'll do a recording of that and do a little bit more of a discussion on that game because it was quite funny on our next one. So then the last game, obviously, we played together was Valheim.
Yes, which we'll end up talking about next week, considering the update is out on the 16th.
Yep. So I think the plan is to try and get on the day of the update and do a bit of recording, talk about the things that have changed.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a decent game save that we all play on, our own server that we play on, and we've done quite a lot on it.
I think rather than go through everything in here, because obviously I know we do chat about this game quite a lot because it's a game that we do kind of stick with. I think what I'm more tempted to do is do a little video run through of how the mechanics of the game, how it plays, show off like the base, some of the enemies and stuff, and just post a separate video of that. So if you want to check that out, we'll pop that up.
Yeah, do that. And I think depending on what night we do our video So it might be that podcast. Sorry, whether it's the Wednesday or whether it's another day. It may be not next week. It may be the week after.
Yeah.
So, in the podcast, we'll give like our overview, like our opinion of the update.
I think what I'll do is I might live stream our one on the 16th.
Yeah, my suggestion would be that it's live streamed, probably on YouTube.
We'll live stream that one, so you'll see us get peed off with some of the changes that have possibly taken place.
Well, if we live stream it, then we can post it as a video as well.
Yeah, we'll pop it on as a video, and also I'm assuming, like I say, we'll do a run through and show you the full concept of that game. I don't want to stretch this out too much further, so I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, Mike, before we chuck the towel in. Nope.
Nope.
No, I sure you don't want to talk about Star Trek anymore, or
one comment that I thought was nice to say to people that may be Star Trek fans. Always get left out because you're some kind of geek. Yet you mentioned D&D without a problem.
Our fan base has gone from like...
Mate, D&D was more geekish than Star Trek.
Our fan base has gone from like 6 to 0 now.
Well, if we get all the Star Trek fans in, then it'll go from 0 to thousands. So we'll be fair.
0 to 1,000. Right. Yep. I think what we'll do then is we'll call it there. So, yep. This is our episode number 10, double figures. You've been listening to myself, Craig, aka Z Crisis 2 on all social media.